Hi guys, my name is Anmol and I'm going to be teaching you about basics of coding again, and it's really simple. You don't have to know how to code or have to have coded before or anything like that. If you know something, that's great. If not, we'll just learn it together, and I really hope to keep these tutorials nice and short, and I want to make the a lot of tutorials for this. Possibly even going all the way up to networking and how to communicate between a server and a client, making web services. But again, that would be a long time away. And we'll get to all that in time. But basically, we're just going to start it for now. And the first thing you want to do is install something called Eclipse, and I already have it installed because it was taking a long time and I can't really make the video that long. And so just go and install this. You'll follow fine. If you have any problems in that, just go and install the something called Java JDK and then install the SE Development Kit 8. That's all you need to install. Real simple. Okay. That's all I really expect for you guys. Just if you guys don't know how to do it, just go and Google it or YouTube it or something like that. And pretty sure someone must have done a video on that. But I don't want to waste time. So install it, and then this icon. So you'll get a file, and then unzip the file, or like extract it, and after that you'll get this icon. Click on it. Double click on it, and it'll open this up. And then this is just choose a directory to, or like a place to save your stuff. Can be anything. I just made it random for this one. And you'll have something called Eclipse Mars. Basically, Java is really good, so you can use this as a. This is called an IDE, and it basically like a development tool, and it allows you to make Java programs. Some of you guys might be wondering why we're using Java as our first language. The only reason for that is it's really easy to learn. It requires almost no, it's almost so close to English itself, like normal written English, and yeah, I think it will be a good language for everyone to learn. So after this, just click on Workbench, and you should be good. And then you can make this full screen. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start off with a really really basic program, and that's all that's gonna do is print stuff. That's all it does. Print stuff to the screen or the console. That's it. Really simple. Your console might not be there, so what we'll do is we'll try to we'll try and get uh, so we'll go to show view and go console, and that should show the console. The console is basically the result of your program. Right now, we won't be working on any visual programs yet, but eventually, you guys can move on to, I'll show you guys how to make programs using GUI, graphic user interface, and that would be making programs like on the computer that you can interact with and things like that. But that requires a lot of stuff, so before that, we'll just get started with the really basic things. The first program, go File, go New, and go Java project. Okay, so that should take a while. Just give the project name something like I don't know, learning, and make sure you keep this 1.8 because a lot of people have problems later on. Keep this as create separate folders for sources and class files. It will make your life a lot easier, and all it does is just create separate things. Pretty self-explanatory. Um, we'll go keep this as it is. No need to change anything. We'll go and go into understanding all this right now. Now, if you look at your directory, so you do that, and all it does is creates like shows you what's inside. JRE is a system library, and this has the resources that makes your and all your code run. And you don't need to worry about anything because I don't even think I know all of these, and these are in a jar file, so you can't just open them and read them. Like you have to, uh, you know, like get rid of the jar, like go inside the jar and get rid of the jar suffix at the end, go inside the jar and then actually figure out what's going on. So go to source, right click, go new, and just go class. we won't worry about the package for now. It will be default. Okay, so I'm gonna go over this. Okay, so I want to make sure because I don't. I had a bad experience with not knowing what to do when I was starting off in my first year of engineering and no clue what Java was and what programming was. So what I want to do is basically explain. So basically, source folder is where it's being stored. You know, the reason why you have source folders is because this folder is, for example, about learning. So you can put all your code that you're learning here, and then eventually, when you're working on multiple projects, like I was at some point, so you're gonna be working on like one project here, one project there, and like it's not gonna be easy keeping track. So for example, you could be working on something called a video audio mixer, or you could be working on a calculator, and these could be different projects. You can switch between these, so that's why you put them into folders and not just dump everything. The package is what you see over here. Like this is a kind of package. Okay, sorry, this is not, well, it's kind of, but not really. But package you'll see when once I make it is you'll be able to. The idea of a package is to like separate the code. So basically, you don't want to be like dumping all your code in one place. You guys will realize this eventually if you guys want to pursue a degree or a job in computer science and get into big projects. When you have code that goes to about like 9, 10,000 lines, or even more than anything more than 1,000 lines, you're gonna be really confused if all your files are in one place. Just like if you were storing something in a folder and you just had like 1,000 files without any kind of structure, or if you were storing photos from like 10 years and it had no structure on your computer about like what they were, you'll be really lost. The name, let's just give it a. This is class. Class is basically a program that runs the Java code. Now, all of these have the suffix .java, and that just basically tells the Java compiler. And for those who don't know, compiler is basically just gets what's written in English or what we see and puts it down to machine instructions. So basically, your computer or your processor can understand them, because obviously your computer is not built to understand English words. It's supposed to understand ones and zeros. So a compiler just basically does. I won't go into the detail. That's all it does. So let's just name this "Hello World." Okay, my bad. So the class name is always starts with capital, and each word, each after you finish each word, the next word is also capital. This is just a convention, and it also tells you the default package is discouraged. But for now, we'll just keep it there because we're just making a simple as project. Click this, and this should be good. We want to make sure it's public, and we'll just go like that. Okay, so it should be loading. Yeah, it's loading. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, so basically, get rid of this. No need. I hate comments that are not supposed to be there. So basically, let's start off explaining from the top. We'll move to the bottom. So you have public. Public means that it's visible to other files as well, because a lot of times you'll be using code all over the place. Um, Class just says it's a class, and this is basically, I'll get into that once we get into object oriented, but for now you can think of it as just like just like a just like a basically a class. It just holds, it's like a box. It holds all the code for the class name Hello World. Hello World is just basically identifying the class. It's really simple. Once you get into it, it'll be a lot easier to explain all this. This is, and then inside the class you have something called a method. A method basically is like a function. Like if you have some kind of function, like, oh yeah, if I click this will always happen. In the same kind of way, every time this executes, everything inside will happen. And this is public static void main, and it takes this argument. Okay, I'm not gonna go into the detail of what static or void or main or each one of these, but you have to have these. Like basically, this this line tells the Java JVM, or the Java virtual machine, which is like a compiler to the code, that basically it tells it where to start the program. So no matter how big your Java program can be, like you can have a whole, like a massive application that's like, at 1,000,000 lines, but it still has to start at this after this. So then we'll learn how to, like, branch away from all this inside here between line 5 and 7. So what we want to do is a real simple program called system.out, dot print, system.out.println, and just go hello world. Okay, so the reason why you will see a lot of hello world is because I think it was when the first programming language was made, the guy decided to just write hello world, and it just became like a convention. And now, so basically all this is like a like it just prints stuff. It's like a printer. All it does is just print stuff to the console. So anytime you want to print something, like print as in like show something as a result, you use system.out.println. Yeah, it seems real long, and other programming languages, like for example Python, just uses something called print, and like I think Bash uses something called echo, and I think PHP uses echo as well. And yeah, so we won't get into that, but this is just basically, it's a real long, but it just, all it does is just tells it to print. And now we're just gonna run it, and what we're gonna do is go to this one, the one between. So it literally says run, and it's next to the little bug that says debug, and it's between and in the left of something called run last tool. So just click on it, and this is gonna come up. So this is gonna say, you want to save it, etc., etc. Okay, and as you can see, it printed hello world. So you can do a lot of different things, like, I can keep going on, but you guys just learn how to code, and yeah, next time we'll get more into how to do basic addition, multiplication, things like that, and after that we'll make a little calculator which you guys can use, and then we can put that into like a proper, like a graphic user interface. But for now, just look at the tutorial again if you get confused, and read a little bit up somewhere here and there at W3 Schools or Tutorials Point, and see ya.